everyone, my name is Mengyao Gao. I am an assistant professor at Department of Chemical Engineering, National Taiwan University of Science and Technology. This year, we have the future ready for the chemical reaction engineering for our students to learn how to input our CRE into the real-world applications. We call it the industry-oriented scenario. So as shown here, we start the engineering a sustainable world at the very beginning. The chemical engineering challenge, we input the SDGs, including the SDGs 2, zero hunger, the SDGs 3, good health and well-being, SDGs 6, 7, 9, and 12 together. And we ask students to engineer a sustainable world if society, the economy, and the natural world are to endure. So students, you can see here we have the core, which is the sustainable systems. Then we combine the basic knowledge together as the fundamentals. We start with the basic level, including the reaction rate laws, stoichiometry, more balance, conversion, X, and yields, reaction sizing and design, and which we collaborated with 2 PBLs with the Fulbrighters Melina. So here you can see that we will have the isothermal reactor design in terms of the conversion and the molar flow rates. After the basic level practices, we input the catalysis and the catalytic process, microreactors and membrane reactors together to help students build a higher level approach. So then we combined with the sustainability and the industry-oriented learning together to help students build the systematic thinking approach. As a final presentation, we can see as shown here, we have the water treatment with the microreactors. Students, they start from the fundamentals, from the more balance, rate laws, and how to design and sizing these reactors with a sustainable method, or they can input the traditional ways and think about how to develop or improve these kind of reactors into a sustainable way. So students, they mentioned from the basic knowledge to the higher level approach, and then they solve this problem. By the way, in one group we have the CEO, CTO, finance manager, sustainable manager, and R&D engineer, which means that we have the whole map for this company, for this factory, and we also input the sustainability here. Think about how to convert our reactants to the product efficiently and with a low cost, which will benefit our planet, which means that we will input the SDGs as well here to solve the problem systematically. So this is our 4 PBLs. We will have more information in our application forms for you to take a look at. And also we do have some reflections from the Fulbrighter and from our students.
My name is Melina Torres. I am with Fulbright Taiwan. I'm an E&I advisor. So I work with professors here at NTUST and other universities to help them with their EMI teaching. And I think that working with Dr. Gao has been a very good experience because I get to come alongside her and support her in her instruction here at the university. I think it's a really great partnership because she's very enthusiastic about her students and about teaching. It's a good opportunity to be able to come alongside and support her students with English and with the instruction that she does here. I think that supporting the students with their English and their presentation skills has been inspiring. To be able to see the students using their English in front of their classmates, in front of their professor, it can be intimidating for students to use their second language to discuss such a difficult topic, but it's great to be able to see them do that successfully and the teams support each other and decide how they're going to speak, what each person is going to say, be able to present nice posters as well. So they're considering not just the content for chemical reaction engineering, but really it's more of considering the topic and how to communicate the topic well. To be able to see all of that done together is inspiring and I think rewarding. And then the students also are able to take those skills with them to their other classes and back to their own countries too for the international students. And the local students can also take those skills into the workforce here in Taiwan. Some of the strategies that Dr. Gao has used in her class that I think have been effective are using small groups. It's a way of engaging the students, and not every class has the opportunity for students to be able to do that. So I think that her class is unique in that way here in Taiwan and at NTUST. So students get to choose their groups, they get to often choose topics and work together rather than just sitting in a lecture class. So she gives her students opportunities to engage with the content and engage with each other and use English. And that's where I feel like as a Fulbright advisor, I get to come alongside and help give more ideas about what she can do in class and how to engage the students. And I think it's a more holistic approach to education, helping students to be well-rounded and more successful in the class and outside of the class, so they can take those skills with them in the future. In addition to being able to work well with their classmates, I think they get the opportunity to practice their English skills, which is also really valuable for them in the classroom and again outside of the classroom for the future. And Dr. Gao also has an emphasis in sustainability, and so we've talked about what are strategies that can connect chemical reaction engineering and sustainability in the course design so that the students are making those connections in the class, so they'll continue to make those connections outside of the class when they enter the workforce. I'd like to say to Dr. Gao, thank you for inviting me into your chemical reaction engineering class. You've been very kind to me this whole semester. I really look forward to being able to continue working with you again in the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Evanya Sanarevina. Kindly call me Vanya. I'm a third-year student from Chemical Engineering in NTUST, and I'm one of Professor Gao's student in Chemical Reaction Engineering course. I think the most inspiring moments is every PBL session, because in my class, in CRE class, there are international students and also overseas Chinese students, and every PBL class we have to do presentation, and a lot of people, especially Professor Gao, kept encouraging the overseas Chinese people to do presentation in English confidently, and I think that's really inspiring for me. I think socially I can gain more friends because I met a lot of new overseas Chinese students, and that's so important for me. I just want to say thank you because I think CRE is kind of hard for me. I thought at first CRE is kind of hard for me, but Professor Gao never failed to wrap things up with a really funny and also really interesting way to learn. It's kind of encouraging for me to want to learn more about the CRE thing, and I want to say thank you also because you want to teach us with a really big heart, and that's one of the reasons why you're my favorite professor here. And I hope that next semester we can meet each other again. Thank you so much.
Hello everyone, I'm Tasha and I'm from Indonesia. From my inspiring moment in CRE class, especially with Mrs. Gao, it's because before the lecture start, she always asks us to write something like what we hope for today and what we want for today, and it really inspired me to think about the future, what I want to learn in this class today. Before the class, I'm quite shy and I really don't like to speak my mind truthfully, but during the class, Mrs. Gao always asks each student individually to speak your mind and be opinionated about it. And then I realized that's something to be worked on about and something to improve myself. And I feel like after the class, I begin to be more confident and speak more freely to everyone. First thing first, thank you Professor Gao for teaching us during this semester, and I think you're such a great and kind person, not just about chemical reaction engineering, but teach us all about life, about sharing with friends, about being opinionated, and about being who you are. So I think that means a lot more than just your lectures and your chemistries and equations. So thank you so much, Professor Gao. You're such a great professor.
My name is Brilliant Bintang Andalan. You can call me Brilly. I think the moments that inspire me the most are when Professor Gao asks us to do presentations and also make posters. I think that's very, very fun. Just being able to present what I have done, my work, is something I could express myself, and it's very, very fun. It's very, very inspiring for me because she encourages us to think. She encourages us to think outside of the box and also solve in real life problems using CRE and its implementation. When we speak about theoretically or what content there are in class, now I know more about reactors, reactions, and also different types of reactors, how to design a reactor, able to present better, communicate with my teammates, and have good teamwork with them to create the posters and also the presentations. In my group, there's one Burmese person or Myanmar, 2 Indonesians, myself, I am Indonesian, and another friend of mine, and 4 Taiwanese people. So sometimes they would speak Chinese, and then me and my Indonesian friend would speak Indonesian. And because sometimes there are some things that we have to discuss alone, because it's very complicated, then we have to speak it out in English. When we speak Indonesian, especially when it's very, very fast, they all seems like, huh? Like they're very confused, and it's just something that they laugh it off, and then we just said, oh, we are speaking about this, and this. It's very fun, and it's quite hard to communicate because it's not our own language, especially for me. I have to know Indonesian, English, and also I have to learn Chinese, but it's a very nice experience to get to work with them and also have fun with them. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join your class. Please keep continuing with how you teach, because it's a good way to brainstorm and also express students on how they can learn to communicate much more well, especially in English. Thank you.
My name is Franco Gabriel Barrios Duarte. I'm from Paraguay and just took the Chemical Engineering Reactions course provided by Professor Gao. It's to be able to learn from such an stunning professional such as Professor Gao and also Melina. I think the way that they taught us really helpful for me to fully go through this course. Every single class we will be able to learn new things, and the way that Professor Gao make us practice and make us fully understand through PBLs, I found it that really inspiring because I've been through so many classes. I think this one is the one that actually really helped me fully understand the concepts of chemical engineering reactions. It also helped me to look more into a professional way rather than only studying from a book. I don't speak English as my first language, so this class really helped me improve my vocabulary and also my speaking skills. So we were able to show and practice in front of the class, design reactors or how we're going to change something to make it more sustainable, and we were able to explain it in front of the class, and I think that one really helped me improve my speaking skills. And also sometimes when I'm speaking in front of people I get nervous, so Melina also helped us a lot on how to properly present. And in engineering world, this is like really important because it's not everything about calculations or doing maths or doing chemistry. It's also about how people see you and how would you present yourself and present your work. So this is something that I really like about this course because it really helped me improve my speaking skills. In my group, we come from like different countries, like from Paraguay, Korea, Indonesia, Taiwan. Sometimes we were talking, we didn't know how to say one word in English, so we were like trying to find it to communicate with our friends. And especially I was like, I don't know, talking with Cindy, and I would like forget one word in English, and I would like ask her like in Spanish, like, how do you say this in English? And she would be like, I don't know, I don't speak Spanish. It is like really interesting because we get to like know a lot of like different cultures, and we were like, at the same time we were like working and getting to know each other. It was really nice to like get to know people from different backgrounds. It was such an honor to be able to be his student. She's an amazing professional, and we can tell by the way she teaches and that she really cares about students, about how students are learning. I think this is really helpful and it's really meaningful because finding a professor that actually cares about students and that actually wants you to learn, and she will like show you and take you to labs and prepare some kind of like materials for you to feel more comfortable with what are you learning. Such a thankful person for that. She is an amazing teacher, she's an amazing professional, and I am so happy to be able to learn from someone like her and to meet her. She made my engineering path easier.
My name is Fabricio. I'm from Paraguay, and this is my second class taking with Professor Gao. I think one of the specific moments that I liked the most was sessions with the professors from United States, the Fulbright professors, where they actually explain us how to deal during presentations, which I found very interesting. Mostly on the way they explain us. One thing that I can remember the most must be like they told us to use a cup for presentations so we cannot get nervous. That's something that I will actually really like, and I will maybe apply in the future of my presentations. The way that Professor Gauss introduced us to this class is to learn beforehand, and also how can we apply the learn on our normal day. So usually before class I try to get prepared a little bit on like the development or sustainable part, and then after the class I try to apply my knowledge on how to deal with staff learning class on real life scenarios. After class we feel like you're more confident to apply, to later in the future apply it, maybe on a work or maybe on a master. So it's something that maybe can change your way to see the ideas that I really like, on a way that I can develop myself and I can become like a better engineer in the future. Overall, it was a very nice experience because at the end we got confused for how we pronounce the words, but at the end we understand each other. Since all we try to learn and we try to produce ideas in a language that is not ours, I found it very funny and very optimal to produce it like this, to try our best to speak each other in English to the Taiwanese students, to the people from Indonesia, from Myanmar, from Paraguay. It has been quite challenging, but it has been very funny to deal with this. It has been a ride full of joyness, and I really like her class. I really like how she develop idea, how she make the development into a real life scenarios. Thank you, that's mostly I can say. I really like the class.
Hi, my name is Audrey Maria Cindy Ong, or Cindy, from Chemical Reactions Engineering class, and my major is in Chemical Engineering and IATP. So for this class, this whole semester, I really enjoyed it, and I really got to learn about new ways to implement classroom-based learning with sustainability. I really enjoyed this class because we get to meet a lot of people from other backgrounds, other countries, and we get to converse with them and discuss on their different ideas.
My name is Sungjun Lee, and I listened to Professor Cindy's Chemical Reaction Engineering class last semester as a foreign exchange student, and I'm from Korea. The course isn't basically only about the calculation and the reaction or the theory inside the chemical reaction, but it's more about, I would say, more about talking with your classmates about the chemical reaction engineering and presenting it and teaching them more about chemical reaction engineering. And I believe that instead of just learning about how to do the calculation, well, for example, the integral or the calculus inside the mathematical reaction, it's more important to talk about like what you really know and what you might not know while do the presentation. And it really helps a lot because it not only helps enhances broaden your mind about chemical reaction engineering, not only in your perspective but others' perspectives as well. And it also helps talk in English, of course, and it also lets you know more about the applications of chemical reaction engineering in real life. So it was really helpful for me.
Hello, my name is Abhil Bugni. Thank you, Professor Gao. I hope we can meet again in another class. You are really, really kind to us. Thank you very much and have a good life. Thank you.
I'm so proud of my students. From every smile, I really understand the meaning of education, and I really want to thank all of my students for their engagement during this whole semester. I'd like to thank the bilingual education initiatives as well as our Fulbrighters' help, including Melina, Jefferson, Jean, Alexis, and so on. And thank you so much for the support from NTUST and our Department of Chemical Engineering. Thank you.